Hello and welcome to Radio eSteno. Today I want to talk to you about admonitions. So if you do depositions, admonitions are a set of instructions that the attorney will recite to the witness, and kind of the rules of the road. They call them the ground rules. In just a regular dictionary definition, it says an admonition is the act or action of admonishing, authoritative counsel or warning. And they have a sentence: the old judge's admonition to the jury on this point was particularly weighty. So basically what it means is just giving them some rules of the road. Another definition, just plain English definition, is gently or friendly reproof. So in depositions, it's really not really like chastising somebody or castigating them or reproof or anything. It's just the rules of the road. So in a pre-deposition planning document I have found, it says that the kind of typical outline you might say is asking the court reporter if she's ready, identify by name, a connection to the case everyone has in the room, ask the reporter to swear in the witness, ask the witness to state his or her name, and then state to the witness the procedures for conducting the deposition. So here's kind of a sample one they have. It says, Mr. Witness, I am so-and-so, an attorney representing Ms. Plaintiff. This is a deposition in which I will ask you the questions and you must answer them truthfully unless your attorney tells you clearly and directly not to answer. Although no judge is present, this is a formal legal proceeding, just like testifying in court, and you are under the same legal obligation to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. If you do not understand any of my questions, feel free to say so, and I will rephrase it. Before the deposition can be used in court, you will have the opportunity to read it over and correct any mistakes. Do you understand this? So then the admonitions start, and in a second I'm going to play for you the admonitions. It's a good idea to make up briefs for these admonitions, things like under oath, what is your name, state your full name, those you probably have. Judge and jury, just like you would be testifying before a judge and jury. So I have judge and jury as a brief. But now let's get into it and let me play you some of the admonitions that I hear every day.
All right. You understand that you've been placed under oath?
Yes.
And you understand that it's important that you make your testimony here today as accurate and as complete as you can make it. Do you understand that?
Yep. Yes.
You understand that if for any reason at the trial of this matter you give any testimony that is different from what you say here today, I will have the opportunity to comment on that and comment on your credibility as a result.
Yes.
Okay, so the important sort of highlights of the deposition instructions is I just want to confirm that you understand, even though we're in a very informal setting and these proceedings are happening remotely with everybody in different rooms and you seated on your couch at home, the oath that you have taken this morning requires you to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, as if you were testifying today before a judge and or jury. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. It's also important that only one of us speak at a time so that the court reporter can take down my question and your answer and any objections that your attorney may want to make for the record. So even though you may anticipate what it is that I'm asking, it's important that you let me finish my question before you jump in with your answer so that the court reporter can take down everything that everyone says accurately, okay?
Okay.
It's also important that you respond audibly to the questions that I ask, because a nod or shake of the head or things like uh-huh or don't get transcribed very well. And so you have to answer verbally with a yes or a no. Is that agreeable?
Yes.
We will take occasional breaks throughout the day. If you recall, we did that at the first session of your deposition as well. The only thing that I ask is that while a question is pending, so if I ask a question, that you answer the question and then we can take a break after you answer the question, okay?
Okay.
I don't want you to guess or speculate, but I am entitled to your best estimate if you have one. And I think the example that I gave at the last deposition of the difference between a guess or an estimate for purposes of today's proceedings is if I were to ask you what is the color of my car, you've never seen my car, your answer would just be a pure guess, right?
Yes.
But if I were to ask you what is the approximate square footage of the room where you're seated right now, by looking at it, even though you haven't measured it and can't tell me exactly, by looking at it, you could give me at least your best estimate as to the dimensions, right?
Yes.
So I do want you to give a best estimate if you can, but I don't want you to guess or speculate if you have absolutely no idea what the answer to my question is, okay?
Alrighty. Yes.
If at any time you think that you misspoke or you want to clarify an answer that you gave earlier in the day, let me know so that we can be sure that when we conclude today's proceedings that you've given your best and most complete testimony, because if you change an answer after today, when you review the transcript, if you change, for example, a no to a yes, I or another attorney in this case may comment upon that at trial or some other proceeding to imply that you were not being truthful in your testimony today. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And because we're in a remote setting and I can't see who else is in the room or what other screens you may have up, it's important just to verify that, that for today's purposes, your deposition testimony should be based just on your recollection and not based upon what anybody else is telling you to say. So there shouldn't be anybody else there in the room with you during this deposition.
You've had about half a dozen times you've been had your deposition taken, is that correct?
Yes, that sounds about right. Yep.
All right. You understand that you've been placed under oath?
Yes.
And you understand that it's important that you make your testimony here today as accurate and as complete as you can make it. Do you understand that?
Yep. Yes.
You understand that if for any reason at the trial of this matter you give any testimony that is different.
All right, so now you can listen to that and write it a few times, make up some briefs. And now it's time to move on to our steno detective moment. I want you to find examples of questions that cannot be asked in a deposition. You cannot ask these questions by law. They will be objected to. The attorney will instruct his or her client not to answer. Send me some questions that cannot be asked in a deposition. All right, and for your motivational moment, I'd like to leave you with this quote. Take action. An inch of movement will bring you closer to your goals than a mile of intentions. Thank you for stopping by the Radio eSteno, and I will see you next time.